This is our Arsenal versus Barcelona combined 11 powered by Pepsi Max. Make sure you listen to this one because we're going to give our opinions as to why we've gone with these players, the positives and negatives as to why we've chosen them. Let's go with a combined 11. Now, this is going to be difficult. And look, we'll probably miss some players, but we're trying to go off of the 11 that we think potentially will play. So we'll start with the goalkeepers. You run through them, Neats, because you're probably better at...
Yeah, so for the goalkeepers, Arsenal starting keeper, we're saying Van Domselaar. And for Barca, Cole, right?
Yep, so who are we picking?
We have
to agree.
Oh, we have to agree. I'm going to go Van Domselaar.
You know what? I think there's not much between them.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of agree and go, yep. So I would say if we was to do an 11, as there's not much in it, if Domselaar is to play, it will be Domselaar. That will be our goalkeeper for sure. Yeah, I'll go with you on that one.
Okay, right back. Fox versus Badje.
This is difficult. I really like Badje. Certainly her growth and development, and through watching her for a few seasons at Man United, and then going back to Barcelona and settling the way she has, and coming up against Lucy Bonds to try and get that right back position. Unbelievable, exceptional talent. And then you've got Fox in terms of kind of that energy, that never say die type attitude. It's a difficult one, but we're going to be playing with the ball, Anita. So I would argue that Badje is probably more suited as right back for me.
Yeah, I would have agreed. I agree with you on all of those points. I think Fox, I like that she's aggressive when she goes forward and she attacking mindset and her mentality. Because I'm sure she brings that high level mentality. But again, because I spent a lot of time as defending in my life and I like having the ball. So I'm going to go with Badje as well.
Yeah.
For those qualities that she possesses in possession. All right, centre back. Leah Williamson versus Paredes.
This is difficult for me. I really enjoyed watching Paredes. Is really key to this Barcelona backline. When I think about their backline, for me, she's somebody that has to start every game.
Yeah.
Also, she's a goal threat in terms of set pieces. We know Leah's very key to Arsenal in terms of her backline as well. When she's on it, very good. This is a difficult one. I'm happy for you to put your point across. And then
who made this combined 11?
I know it's so difficult. I actually think this is really difficult because I actually prefer Paredes over Leon for all round game.
Yeah.
And so that's a difficult one. What you got? You throw something at me because that's a real
throw
difficult
something
one.
at you. I think this is challenging because I think for in possession especially. I think with Leah, when she's on it, she's one of the best at playing through the lines, finding those incisive passes into midfield areas, and actually is key to Arsenal when they do that in the build-up. So that's one reason I'd want her in there. I think Paredes is her experience. I think it's her bravery in terms of the way she manages that high line. And as you said, she's a threat in both boxes. I find this one particularly
this is very difficult.
Challenging. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go with Williamson for in possession.
Go on. I'll go with you. I will go with you because that was a real 50-50 hard to split. Yeah. I feel like on others there's percentages where one's a little bit more, but yeah, Williamson it is.
Okay, centre back Catley versus Mappy Leon.
Again, difficult. I think Catley's settled into that left side centre half position, not natural to her to play there, but actually I think she's also had a good season in there. Mappy Leon in terms of experience, in terms of that in possession, in terms of that player that, if I was to say out of those two, she's more comfortable stepping in with the ball, starting attacks and being aggressive than what Catley is. I think you lose a little bit of Catley centrally, although she's settled nicely. I would argue that Leon probably gives you that little bit more, Mappy Leon.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like Catley for her, obviously her ability, her left foot, the balance she gives. Also, she's versatile. But I've always been a very big fan of Mappy Leon and her playing style and her set piece threat. She's, we know she's a threat from set pieces. So I'd agree with you there.
Yeah.
All right, left back, McCabe versus Rolfer.
McCabe, my girl's got to be in there.
I was waiting. I was like, nah, there's no way she's going to say Rolfo.
You know why? Because I just love everything about her mentality, a love for the game, the way that, you know, I feel like sometimes people are very opinionated about her approach to games, but she's just passionate about winning. Mm-hmm. She wants to do her very best. She loves Arsenal. I think she wears her heart on her sleeve. I think you can get both in and out of possession. Yes, with the risk of maybe, you know, doing things that maybe she shouldn't or trying to wind up the opposition, but all for the right reason. And for that, I like that. I like that in her. I like the fact she tries to wind up opposition. I really enjoy that, you know, streetness about her. Rolfo, you could argue in terms of the experience, the quality she possesses. I think just the mentality in terms of that streetness about Katie McCabe is why I'd have her in her. Mm-hmm. I'd have to give her a little whisper in the ear, maybe about that little bit of stay in the game, be disciplined, don't lose your head. Because, yeah, she's somebody that wants to be aggressive and you know, when you are aggressive, you've got to time it right, certainly in a big final, and keep your emotions intact, Katie McCabe.
I'd agree with all of those points.
But I love Katie.
Listen.
And I would always have her in my team.
Katie probably thinks I'm too hard on her. And I probably am at times. But I'm a big fan of Katie McCabe. Yeah. I am. I get frustrated, I would say, in moments.
It's her emotion gets the better of her.
Her emotion gets the
100%.
better of her. But in terms of her quality as a player, her mentality, I love it. You can't buy that. You know,
Absolutely.
She has that in abundance, and it's very rare that you find players that have all of that, you know, combined. So I 100% go with you with McCabe on that, because she has that winning mentality and spirit and fight as well. All right.
Mate, I'm not looking forward to these next part.
Now this is where it hots up, and we're getting hot in this room.
I'm getting hot because this midfield is like, how can you pick?
Wow. Should we kick it on?
Mate, the pairing's crazy, but go on.
Centre mids now. Mariona Caldentey versus Patri Gujaro.
I'm just
take it away, Farah.
You know why? Because I'm looking at the other pairings who I would pick out the other pairings, but then I don't really want to make it so dominant to one team. But Giaro, in terms of like, it's difficult. If it was Giaro and Kim Little, you can argue 50-50 in terms of what they bring.
True. So what you're saying really is you want to flip these pairings around a little bit.
Name the three pairings, and then I'll be able to tell you why.
Or name all three pairings. I'm just going to smash it out.
Yeah.
So Mariona Caldentey versus Patri Gujaro.
Yeah.
Little versus Bonmati. Yeah. Mornham versus Lionesses. Mornham versus Pateas.
Okay, so my argument is, if I was going Mornham or Pateas, I would have Pateas. But Mati's my favourite player in terms of when you think of like Champions League football, in terms of what she does and, you know, the impact she has on games. As much as I love Kim Little, I would pick Bonmati over currently. So then when it comes to Caldentey, the season she's had at Arsenal, been unbelievable. But then I want to balance out that midfield. And if I have Caldentey, Bonmati and Pateas, I'm like, who's going to sit in control for me?
So
I'm also like, I need Patri Gujaro to sit for me and allow Pateas and Bonmati. But then I'm very Barcelona dominant. But actually, Kim Little and Caldentey, I need them in there somewhere. So, I don't know. If anything, I'd put, if we was to go Caldentey against... So
you're definitely going Pateas?
I'd take Pateas over Marnham, yeah. Okay. I mean, she scored how many goals this season?
No, for sure.
I mean, she's leading away in the
field. No, I was thinking of how...
And then close behind her, on paper, in terms of stats, the goals that... I think there's over... 24 goals. Yeah. Bonmati and Pateas have scored more than that. I'm talking about across the season, and then you got assists to add to that. They're both in double figures for both of those, and that's something that Kim and Marnham aren't. So in terms of goals,
so we're going for a Barca midfield, aren't we? Is what you're saying, Farah? Let's be real.
No, but what I'm saying is that if I was going Kim Little and Gujaro, I'd probably you'd probably fight a little bit more for Kim.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the fact is, Caldentey and Gujaro, I think it's very difficult,
and itself, doesn't it?
I think Gujaro has to be in there in terms of the balance. But what are you saying? It's because you've been quiet. You've been a little bit quiet.
No, it's tough. I was like, if you'd put Gujaro and Little, I probably would have gone Little.
No, that's the same.
But since it's this way around, and we're also talking about balance, so they're all high level players, of course. I think we have to go Gujaro for balance.
Yeah,
and then we have our 2 10s essentially. All right. Forward line now.
Oh, this is difficult.
Okay. Right winger. Chloe Kelly versus Graham Hansen.
So difficult. I think the difficulty is that they have different qualities.
Yeah.
I think when you talk 1v1, ball at your feet, beating defenders, allowing me to go 1v1 and having that battle, I actually think Graham Hansen is probably better at it. I think Chloe Kelly has that, but I think she's become more of a crossing type wide player now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and maybe goals from there. She doesn't really go and get herself in the box as much as she used to when you think back to the Chloe Kelly when she was a little bit younger. So it's adapted her game a little bit. I'm excited by Hansen because she's one of those that you're on the edge of your seat when you're watching her and you don't know where she's going to go. She's going inside, outside, can do both.
That's true, yeah.
So for the excitement part of it, and for the excitement that we're going to get, Hansen up against McCabe, I'll have to pick Hansen over Chloe Kelly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go Hansen. I think Chloe Kelly has come into a great run of form and she's playing exceptionally well for Arsenal and she offers something else that they needed. But for vibes, Graham Hansen.
Yeah.
Because I want to be surprised. I want to be like jumping off my chair with something fresh and interesting. And she does that on the pitch. So agreed there. Okay, strikers. Alessia Russo versus Pajor.
Again, different qualities. I think when you look at the qualities of Russo, I think she's rounded. I think she's a rounded centre forward. I think she can hold up play and bring her team in. I think she can also carry the ball into areas powerfully, which her team, I would imagine, will need at times. She scores goals.
Mm-hmm.
She can link. Pajor on the opposite side, we know she likes to get beyond, likes to link a little bit, but more works on the back shoulders, gets beyond and gets herself in the box. A lot of speed, can finish. I mean, her goals speak for themselves in your first season. But for the whole roundedness of the striker, I'm going to go with Russo. I think she's got more to her game than Pajor, although strikers are paid to score goals, right? And that's something Pajor does. But I think Russo, if I'm looking at the rounded striker, I'm going to sway a little bit with Russo.
Yeah, I'll go with, I agree. I would go with Russo as well. Been a big fan of Pajor from her time at Wolfsburg as well, and then moved to Barca. Very agile, very quick, and I think she's going to score a number more goals going into next season as well. But Russo, what I like about Russo is just that she's a very honest player.
Yeah.
Like she works hard for the team, doesn't she? Like she'll do everything she possibly can to give her best. And I think if you're a coach or a manager, you just trust a player like that, and she's reliable. All right, left wing Ford, Caitlin Ford versus Claudia Pina. I tried to Spanish.
You know what? This is difficult because you just spoke about honesty in Russo in terms of like how honest she is in her performances and in her play and in her style, and that's something that Ford has in abundance. Mm-hmm. You talk about that work rate, you talk about that determination, you talk about that selflessness. Team before her, and will do the defensive side. She'll be on the front foot. She'll be up and down. Pina, on the other hand, young, very talented. I mean, beautiful on the eye. Love watching her play.
Yeah.
When I've seen her in games for Barca this year, I'm like, wow, how is this kid not playing? Like the technical quality she has. On the flip side to that, she's in a team that dominate a lot of the ball, and you don't ever really get to see the out of possession from her and how determined or how will she sacrifice herself to do that. And so that's where I'm split between them, because I know what you're going to get the honesty through Ford. And I'll give Pina, the quality and the excitement. And I've just spoke about Hansen. I mean, I was off my seat when she bent that one in against Chelsea from nowhere, like no backlift. And I'm like, Lucy Bond, I'll let you pick this one because, I gave Ford my player of the season because I feel like she just goes under the radar a little bit. But when I look at the quality of that kid, Pina, I really enjoy watching her. It's real difficult. You pick and I'll agree.
This is a really tough one. Like this is such fine margins again, because I think Caitlin Ford is slightly different in the sense that I think Caitlin Ford is a slightly more of a dribbler, rather have the ball at feet and go at players. Whereas I think Pina just has really intelligent movement and late movement,
really good,
and reads other players exceptionally well. But she's got 10 goals in Champions League.
Mad, innit?
From very few minutes. So if I'm thinking about impact, a player that is scoring lots of goals and ultimately goals win games, like, okay, I know clean sheets too as well. Yeah. But, I'm going to go with her just because of where she's at now and how much more potential she has as well.
I'm happy with that.
So
that was
Pina.
a tough one. That was a real tough one, but yeah. Pina it is. So that's our 11. Nate, you want to read out our 11?
Yeah, so our 11, starting from the goalkeeper, is Daphne Van Domsela, right back, Una Bajé, centre back, Leah Williamson, alongside Mappy Leon, left back, Katie McCabe, centre midfield, Patrick Gajaro, our defensive mid, attacking midfielders, Aitana Bonmati, alongside Alexia Puteas, right winger, Graham Hansen. Our striker is Alessia Russo, and our other left winger is Claudia Pina.
Not a bad team, that.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Send in your 11s, combined 11. So there we have it. But guys, that's it for our UEFA Women's Champions League final preview show powered by Pepsi Max. So thank you for listening to Boots, Balls and Bras. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And never forget, follow us on our socials and get involved with all the conversations.